All right, guys, welcome back into this portion of the channel. I am Tori B, your renegade driver. In this video, I will be giving a little bit more context towards what is the different scenarios on picking up passengers, information on kind of like things that are needed. I kind of gave like a quick sneak peek. My rides are usually pretty quiet. There's very few people who get in my ride and really want to talk a lot. Most people who are Uber riders, they're like what I like to call vets. They're used to the experience. They're used to getting in. They're used to kind of minding their business. I let them engage in conversation, and it's once the passenger get to like the second or the third question, okay, now I'm like, okay, they want to have a full conversation. They don't want to just ride in silence. But that's not everybody. Most people would rather ride in silence. There's been time where I tried to converse with passengers and I didn't even know they had on headphones, and I was pretty much talking to myself. Sometimes it'll say pick up for Victoria, and then it'll be a male approaching your car. And depending on your location, out here in Michigan, the population is not as thick as it is in Massachusetts. So usually when someone's walking to my car, that's usually my person. So it's one of those things where you still kind of can wing it yourself. You can either, say the customer name, hey, are you Gary? They will say, yes, I'm Gary. Some people would even return the favor and tell you the name that's on their app. They'll say, hey, are you Tori? Yes, or I'll say, hey, Gary. They'll say, hey, Tori. It all varies. So every driver as well as passenger, we're able to rate each other. And usually what happens is when you're like a 5-star driver, or like I've been a 4.95 fractions of stars, and they're probably for me more or less because of my cancellations. There's a very small percentage you're allowed to do cancellations, and you can be penalized for it. You cannot constantly cancel rides because you feel like the money is low, because what happens is you eventually sometimes leave other passengers stranded, just because you're looking at a dollar amount and then you have people out here who need rides. I believe this is another reason why Uber also does certain promotions where if you give 10 rides in 1 week, they'll give you like an extra $50, or and it varies. One of the promotions I have right now is if I complete 80 rides within, I think, 7-day period, I get like an extra 65 or something like that. And that's just me saying off the top of my head. I don't think that's exact, but that's the point that I'm trying to get at. They try to give these promotions so that you're not picking your rides because of dollar amount. Like I said, most of my rides have been pleasant. I haven't dealt with anything too crazy, and that's because if drivers are rating their passengers, Uber's also linking you with drivers of the same kind of star points. There are some rides where you have to put in the code. I'm not exactly sure what that's about. Sometimes when I see that, I assume that maybe they got kind of a low star point. I haven't really checked to see what their star points is, but I don't know if it's maybe something happened on their account before and maybe they need to prove now. Your driver can't mess that up if we give you a pin, so maybe that's what it is. I'm not exactly sure on that. I just know that I do get some drivers where I have to put the pin in, and then once you put in the pin, it'll automatically send you the direction that they're going. I do want to get into things that we should always have in our car at all times, mostly because everybody's situation is different. I've picked up someone stranded on a highway Like, they called an Uber and they were like on their exit ramp. And, you know, thank goodness for technology and being able to have the ping, because the person wasn't even at an address. I literally just had to follow the app to where the ping was. I had to take them to like the nearest tow shop or mechanic or whatever the case may be. Sometimes people get in your car and their batteries to their phones are either dead or they're dying, and they need a charge because they need to be able to at least use the phone for a few minutes to call whoever they need to. So I keep an Android charger in my car. I keep a Android C cord charger in my car, and I also keep a iPhone cord in my car as well. And I don't even have an iPhone. Never have I ever had an iPhone. But I keep these things because it's just nice to have one available whenever the passenger may need one. Because I had one girl who ordered my ride. She literally had enough battery juice to order the ride. And by the time I came to pick her up, her phone was dead. So, you know, luckily I keep the chargers in my car, because during the duration of our ride, she was able to charge her phone. If it wasn't for the fact that I didn't have the charger, I don't know what that girl would have did, because I don't know what she was going through. I don't know what she was experiencing. I just know she would have been without some sort of a charge. So this is the reason why I keep certain things like that, just because of certain little stories I've gotten behind, you know, some of the things that people have needed while being in the ride with me. I stay hydrated. These are my favorite. I love the Monster energy drinks. Every morning before I start, I grab 2. I grab 2 and I'm on my way. Also, I keep cleaning supplies. I keep Lysol disinfectant wipes. I keep disinfectant spray, and I keep air freshener. This air scents is one of my favorites. I love it because it has essential oils. Anything that has essential oils smell is pretty potent. I'm bringing this up because you're gonna interact with people who have different smells. This is not to insult anyone or throw shade or anything like that, but some people smoke cigarettes and they will be smoking a cigarette while waiting for you to come get them. Some people smoke marijuana and they will be smoking marijuana while waiting for you to come get them. They're not going to be all outside. They may be in the comfort of their home, but once they get into your car, you will smell it. Some people just might not believe in deodorant. It varies. You know, some people work in establishment where they're around all kind of food. I'm only mentioning this just to really kind of say I keep air freshener in my car. Not only that, this is my office, but my office do not come with a restroom. and I say this as humbly as possible. You know, while I'm out riding around, I keep an eye out for the nearest grocery stores or restaurants that I know would have where I can access a restroom. Sometimes while I'm out doing rides, you know, sometimes I have to use the ladies' room. And sometimes it's best to have this in your pocket. Also, if you're in a state where traveling to and from the airport where you have to pay a toll fee, it's pretty important to have an easy pass. If you do not have an easy pass, the tolls for the airport can rack up, and it can rack up very quickly. So having an easy pass, I feel like, is essential. You will get customers going to the airport. One thing I feel about being an Uber driver is I really feel like Uber is kind of made for people who need to go to the airport or need to be picked up from the airport. So it's really important to make sure that your trunk is clean at all times, because sometimes you'll get people who's traveling from international and they will have a whole summer's worth of luggage. Sometimes you'll get a whole family. You'll get a husband, a wife, and their 3 kids, and your trunk will be full, and your back will be full, and your front will be full. Everything will be full. So it's best to make sure that every area of your car is clean enough where if you need to utilize every space in your vehicle, that space is available to be used. An hour today. I started a half an hour late. Usually I start at 5 a.m. And by 7 a.m. I've been made $60. So when I start that early, my runs are about $30 an hour. Anytime after 7, between 7 and 9, it seemed like the rides kind of drop down to about 15, 20 an hour. And then anywhere after 9 and 10, the rides kind of get a little bit slower. So I start off early because the earlier, the more the fare is, and the more frequent the rides are. So just kind of throwing that out there. And the app also have the high peak times as well. You know, if you were ever curious to see, you know, because some people are not able to work in the morning. Some people only able to work at night. And there's nighttime peak hours. All right, so that about sums up today's portion. So if you guys use my referral code, and how it works is we both get paid if you use my referral code. So it'll be described in the link. And so I'll have it down in the description box now. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.